I'm Chef Bob from the Secchia Institute of Culinary Education. I'm here with Mark, and we're going to do a sauteed beef with a whiskey cream sauce. And if we can teach Mark how to do this, then I think we can teach many students how to do this. So I'm very excited.
I'm nervous cooking next to you. It's like me walking down the catwalk next to a supermodel here.
First thing we'll do is we'll turn on the burners. And I have all our mise en place ready. Mise en place means everything in its place. So I have everything pre-measured out. To make things a little bit easier when we cook, at least in the kitchen, we try to keep compact. So I like putting olive oil in a squirt bottle. The key is when we do this particular dish is we want to get the pan nice and medium high, not scorching hot. We're just going to put a little bit of olive oil in there. There you go.
Done.
Done. We're all done.
When you cook at home, do you do the whole chef bowl thing?
If I'm entertaining a friend, I absolutely.
Otherwise, no way.
No, not at all. So when I put the oil in a pan, what I'm looking for is a little bit of the aromatics from the oil first before I start putting the beef in. Can you start smelling it a little bit?
Sure, yeah.
One thing I'd like to do is season the meat a little bit. We're gonna just put a little bit of salt and pepper.
Right before cooking?
Yes.
You're on that side of the fence, huh?
Yeah, with a tender cut of meat, if you salt it too soon, it will pull the juices out.
I thought that was the goal.
Well, not with the beef tenderloin. You want it nice and juicy and as nice as possible. So I like to do it a la minute at the last minute. If I'm doing a tougher cut of meat, then yeah, I want to maybe marinate it a little bit. When I put the meat in, I'm going to go away from myself. So for example, I'll set it in and then I push it that way. Otherwise, if I drop it, it might splatter on me.
Am I supposed to move it around at the
Nope,
beginning?
not at all.
Really?
Not at all.
You're destroying all my home cooking tips.
So we want to do a nice Maillard reaction. A Maillard reaction is a nice caramelization on the outside. Because I have a big enough surface area, I'm going to add a little bit of onions in mine. And if you want onions in yours, we'll add it. We'll give you yours.
Are there other optional things?
I have garlic, roasted red peppers.
All right, I want the onions.
All right, then I'm going to add a little roasted red peppers in mine as well.
I'm going to go with just garlic if I can with mine.
All righty.
Now, I always put it on the onion because I'm afraid to burn it right away.
That is 100% correct. Yep, that is 100% correct. We're going to turn it over and then we're going to make a sauce and we're going to make a pan sauce as it continues to cook.
I have to flip away.
Then what I like to do, Mark, is to kind of keep the onions. I like to caramelize them but not burn them. So I'm just going to move my pan around a little bit. But what I like to do is when we first sear the meat, there's something called a fond, or the meat will stick to the bottom of the pan. So when there's a fond, and that's what I'm trying to create, then I'm going to deglaze the pan with a little bit of whiskey, and then that's going to bring the juices from the pan. It's going to incorporate it in the sauce, and it's going to be nothing but love. Because I'm going to flame with Jim, I'm going to take the pan off the burner, because if I start it and it starts to flame, the flame might chase the bottle. And I'm a little thirsty. Whoop-a! When this cooks down and when the flame dissipates, do you know what that's called?
Resting?
Alcohol abuse. All the alcohol is gone. So all the alcohol is gone, and so now I just have the flavor of the whiskey.
How much? Is this where I make a wish?
Yeah, you make a wish, and then we'll let all that happen.
So right now my steaks are not moving because they're a little stuck.
Growing
up, I always thought that was a bad thing, so I'd always
move it.
Can I not do that?
When I first get the first sear to get that fond on the bottom, then I can move it.
Watch how much crappier mine already looks than his. Like, what's going on here? That's Mark Secchia burnt style right there.
So I'm going to add a little bit of cream, and I'm going to add a little bit of beef stock, and then I'm going to let that reduce, and then I'm going to add a little Dijon in mine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of marry my sauce together. I'm going to blend all my mustard. The nice thing is when you're sauteing a tenderloin, on the second flip you see a little redness or some of the juices come out. That right there, without even putting a thermometer in there, I know it's a perfect medium rare. I'm going to baste the tenderloin. I always carry a spoon in my back pocket. So I'm gonna kind of give it a little taste, and then I can adjust the flavoring before it goes out to a guest.
Can I get a spoon?
Yep, you
Let's
can.
try your sauce.
Okay. So you notice that there's a little bit of mustard in there.
In the spirit. Oh yeah, I get that.
So
How
now
many spoons you got in there?
I go home with a dozen spoons every day. But you got a nice rich jus, like an au jus.
I mean, I think that is, as the French say, delicious.
Delicious.
And yours is merde.
So what do you think? Should we put it on a plate and make it look kind of
Yeah,
sexy?
let's do it.
All right. I'm going to come to you, Mark.
Never noticed. That looks amazing.
These are potato croquettes.
Right.
So I made them log shapes because what I do in my class, I teach the students how to cook food. We talk international cuisine. So I have 9 different stations in the kitchen. Each station represents how to put food differently on a plate and a different style. So as they rotate through different stations, hopefully when they get all done, they learn a little bit about different cuisines, just to scratch, and then how to put food on a plate a little bit differently. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna do a center of the plate. And when I build a dish, I like height, I like different shapes and different sizes. I'm gonna build a Lincoln log. What the hell am I talking about? I've got some grilled broccolini, and I'm gonna sort of let the food fall naturally. Even if you don't know what you're doing, if you use tongs, it makes it look like you know what you're doing.
What about it, in my case, if you especially don't know what you're doing?
You just wear them, and then you get really close to the plate.
Ah, I like
you get really close to the plate, and then you're just looking at it, and that's the key. It's called balarning, it's bullshitting. I'm gonna put my steaks on top. This is a pea coulis. We're gonna pea on the plate. Can we pea on the plate? We're gonna put pea dots on it. Whenever I put food on a plate, I think of odd numbers. These are little sweetie peppers from Peru. They're kind of a teardrop. If I had microgreens, I'd put microgreens on there if I wanted.
Then,
Very nice.
yes. And then,
Chef, are you gonna give Chef Mark some shit about putting a hot pan on the tablecloth?
he should, because I literally have no idea what I'm doing here.
I love it.
And then a little curl at the end up there to make it happy. And, very appropriately, tears. He's so sad. As they say in France, voilà.
Voila. I love it.
Chef Bob, thank you very, very
My
much.
pleasure. It was-
Let's not really consider it a competition because you blew me out of the water.
I like it. It's appropriate.